Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Vinny. Vinny is from Brazil, but he lives in Miami. So let's see what Vinny has to say. Enjoy the interview. Então,
Hello.
how are you, Vinny?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Of course. No, my pleasure.
Amazing. So, Vinny, tell me where you're from before we start the game.
So I was born and raised in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I moved to New York a few years ago, and now I'm in Miami.
And which part of Brazil you were born?
So I was born in Minas Gerais, and I never really lived there. We just moved a lot while I was growing up. But I used to live in Vitória right before I moved to New York.
I see. And why New York? And why Miami?
So New York started because I was studying architecture in Brazil. That was my passion back then. And then some of my friends were going through work exchange programs, and I just felt like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I want to try to go to a big city.
Mm-hmm. And how long? Yeah, carry on. Sorry.
No, and that's how I ended up getting to New York. And that was in December of 2007. So that was almost 15 years ago.
Oh my God, long time.
Yes.
And why the move from New York to Miami?
The weather. I mean, I'm too Brazilian to be in that cold weather. I needed to be by the beach. That I wanted hate all year round. I want to feel like it's carnival every time I go out. That's what I wanted.
Amazing. And Vinny, and what do you do for a living? Tell me.
So I'm a contract manager at a major insurance firm here in Miami. Well, since New York, I still work for the same company, and I coach at CrossFit a couple of times a week, and I start law school in less than a month. So I'll be a future lawyer.
Wow, you do a lot. Tell me what do you like the most about your job?
I really like the opportunity that I have to sort of like work at such a large company and other large companies. I negotiate contracts. So I just really like the opportunity to be able to get some thoughts, put them in paper, and just sort of be able to create a framework for the relationship to come. I think that's what really interested me the most at the beginning. That's how I stayed.
I see. And what's the most challenging part of it, in your opinion?
The most challenging part of?
Yeah, of your job.
The working with very, very high level individuals, you tend to have, everybody has a specific, everybody wants things done in a very specific way. So you're always trying to cater to a lot of different individuals and trying to manage upwards very often. So I think that's the most challenging part.
Amazing. Okay, Vinny, so before we start our journey, William and the Magic Box,
all right.
I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Interesting. So let's see. I am a classic trained piano player.
Wow.
I studied for nearly 15 years in Brazil, although I don't really play anymore. And I think that's one of the most interesting things. People, by looking at me, they would never tell. They usually see me upside down, walking on my hands at the gym, trying new things every week. But most people don't know I have all this music background in my repertoire, and they never really heard of it before.
Amazing, very good one. Right, so are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes, let's do this.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Full of wonderful questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question, right? Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, Vinny, so before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? All very friendly. First question for you is, what is the most dramatic argument you ever had?
Well, the most dramatic argument I personally have ever had, it was with my family. When I came out, where I was outed to my mom, she really insisted that she could never thought I was gay, and she had this entire life planned out for me. So just going through her expectations of my life and where my life actually was, it was very much drama for the both of us. At the end of the argument, I was no longer living with my mom for a little period of time. So I just remember just going through those emotions, and it was just certainly like the most dramatic I've ever been.
Oh, wow. But for now, your family, they're okay with the fact that you are gay, or still some more progress?
Absolutely. I mean, they have come around 360. I mean, it completely turned around from where they used to be before. And they know my partner, they know my friends. It's just they're very, very much involved. At that time, I guess it was just the initial shock. And my mother and I have very similar personalities, so we were just really, really going at it each other.
I see. And the day when you came out, why did you came out? Did something happen, or you just thought, okay, from now on, I'm going to live my life the way I meant to be, or did something happen?
Yeah, so I was outed. Someone told my mom, and that person, I guess, this is gonna sound funny. This is really gonna age me here. People are starting to take pictures like on digital cameras everywhere back in 2001. Somebody took a picture of me with this boy. That person lived on my street. They printed out on their home printer and took it to my mom, and they were like, I told you, or whatever. And that was the same night I was out. So by the time I got home, I still had the same clothing I was wearing in the picture. So there was no denying at that point in time. So my mommy confronted me about it. I was just like, you know what, this is now or never. And then we just went from there.
Wow. And all your family are back in Brazil?
Yes, my entire family lives there.
Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Next question for you is, right, tell us a funny story or a moment that happened to you when you were a child at school.
Child at school. All right. Okay. It's more common in Brazil than it is here, but I went to a Catholic school where we were all, it was a convent before it became a school. So there were nuns walking around everywhere. And at that specific school, we were not allowed to hold hands with anyone, like especially boys and girls. And of course, I had plenty of girlfriends to walk around and chit chat and everywhere. So a lot of the times, what we used to do, every time the nuns would be present, we'd just start like really hugging each other. But then we start hugging, like if I had boys, because I couldn't hold hands with the girls, we start like hugging the boys, and the nuns would just go absolutely crazy after us. And then we just run the hallway up to the chapel. And then the nuns got to cut us. We're like, oh no, we're just here to confess your sins. And then we would just say like, because we'd just be holding hands with somebody from the same gender. It was hilarious.
Did you like school?
I did. I had a really good time in my younger years in school. Again, I moved a lot growing up, so I was in constantly new schools all the time. But by the time I got to high school, things were getting a little more serious. In Brazil, you're really preparing to go to college, so it was not as fun as it used to be, especially back my earlier days.
Amazing, very good. Next question for you. Let's do it. Before the next question, Vinny, tell me, as I can see, you know what I mean, you are into the fitness world, your
Yes.
body, you're always doing fitness, CrossFitter. Tell me a little bit about your career. Did you always be involved with the fitness?
So, I mean, not really. I played volleyball in school. play for my school, play for little clubs. We're in this little city I was living before. But when I got to the US, I was really not into like a fitness person. A few years ago, after moving to Miami, I was just really like, you know what? I want to get in shape. I want to try something new. That was this CrossFit gym by me. And then once I started, I just really fell in love with it. And it became sort of my therapy. I'm there, you know, all the time. And from time to time, my goal is just really to be fit, meaning being able to do things I was not able to do before, where I guess sometimes when I was going to a regular gym, the goal was really to look a certain way. At CrossFit, it was all about performance. So I was just like, okay, maybe I want to start running now. Maybe I want to start swimming. Maybe I want to start biking. And I could add all these activities and find things to do. And they could be outside, they could be inside, they could be with groups of people. So it just became my, you know, the more I got into it, the more I wanted. And now I just really cannot see my life without it. I mean, it's just, I try competing, I participate in CrossFit competitions, and I do it with my friends. So for me, it's always just this social, really carefree environment that we build for each other.
How often do you train per week, more or less?
I do CrossFit 5 days a week. I run track and run outside a couple of days a week. I swim once a week, and I also do gymnastic and tumbling once a week.
My God.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
I am really into my fitness right now.
It's impossible not to have a beautiful body. I was checking your photos. I was like, oh my God, I'm sure he works every single day. I'm sure.
That's
a lot of work.
That's it. Yes. I work out every single day.
Wow. Next question for you is, if you were in a circus, which character would you like to be and why?
So, well, I guess since I'm already doing some of my gymnastics, I want to be the contortionist. I want to be maybe the trapeze person. I just want to do something that will get my adrenaline up and it's still going to look cool, get some applause from people. Maybe have people laughing with me or applauding me, but not like, you know, laughing at me versus a clown. Although I guess, you know, to my friends, they would just say I'm a clown anyway. I was cracking jokes. No, yeah, but I think if I was at a circus, I'll probably be the, you know, the contortionist, the trapeze, just trying to do something like really amazing in front of everybody.
As we were talking about the gym world, there is, of course, I'm sure you kind of have a very restrict diet, yeah?
Yeah.
Is there something that's like a guilty pleasure that you cannot eat, but it's difficult for you to not have it?
Yes, I cannot live without pizza. I have to have it. I must have it. I would not be able to be happy without it. So, and every time I eat it, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just training really hard. I deserve it. I need to eat my pizza. And and especially when I go to Brazil, that's what in Brazil, a pizza experience is very different. Restaurants are very fancy there. So I usually go with my family. I'm like, okay, I just really want to have a pizza. And then we're always going to pizza places to eat. It's just my thing.
Very good. Next one, let's do it. Next question for you is, as a child, have you ever stolen anything and how did it happen?
Oh my God, yes. Yes, I've stole money from my parents, like $1 here and there to get candy. I've stole pens. I had this, my parents used to have me do calligraphy. In Brazil, we write cursive a lot, so I had calligraphy books. And then I started getting really into like the different styles of pens. And from time to time, my parents were not spending that kind of money on giving me pens. So sometimes their friends to school had this really fancy pen, and I was just like bug them, like, oh, this is a really nice pen. I'm writing. Oh, I completely forgot. It's at home now, never to return, never to be seen again. All kinds of pens. So it was just a bad thing. My parents were always like bringing them back to school to return them to people. But
do you have siblings as well?
Yes, I do have 2 brothers.
I see. And saying that, Vinny, when you think about Brazil, your childhood, what's the best memory that comes to your mind that's, you know what I mean, comes close to your heart?
We had this really nice family trip. I mean, I have plenty of them. We didn't grow up nearly I have a very large family and we didn't grow up near to them. So every time I went to spend the holidays, Christmas, the holidays with the entire family, it has always been very nice. But I think as far as being close to my heart, we had this really special family trip, just me, my parents, and my two brothers, where we went to Fortaleza in the northeast of Brazil. And we went to Beach Park, we did several experiences. And one of the things that we did, we went to this sort of like boat ride. And it was just, I just have this really fond memory of having like the five of us just inside, sort of like hugging each other, looking at the beautiful, you know, the ocean through the boat, and have this like, this really, really warm memory. Just a really happy day that every time I think about it, just brings smiles. To me, and just having that experience with my family that we know we didn't share with anybody else. It was just ours, and we just shared that together. It was really nice.
You are the youngest for your brothers, or you are the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Ooh.
I am the oldest. No. So I have a middle brother and who is married now, and I have a younger brother who's a special needs. And you know, it was just funny growing up like that.
Next one, let's do it. Vinny from Brazil. Next question for you. Before the next question, tell me, what was the best part of living in New York? What did you like the most about the city?
Oh my God, what's not to like? It's so much going on. You have all these different cultures. You're learning something new every day. People in New York, they have really, that's one of the things I guess I learned in general when I was moving there, where I was always so concerned in Brazil, the way people would view me. People in New York were just ready to see the real you. Like they had no time to be putting up with whatever images you're trying to portray. So every time, you know, people ask us a question, they just want an honest answer. They want it then and there. And it was just a very change of, you know, pace for me. And it was just very nice to be in a city that is so big that you can just be you. And that was okay. And you have a group of people and you have your own tribe, and you can always find it, you know, and you sort of find each other in that crazy mess that New York was. And that was just really special.
Very good. Next question for you is, if you could be any age, what age would you choose and why?
I'm 35 now, and I think now is the age I want to be. I feel like I'm finally on my fitness, on my education. I feel like I'm sort of moving in the direction when I'm accomplishing all those things. And looking back, that is no other place than I wanted to be than right now. I feel like now is the place to be.
Amazing, very good. Do you think that how do you deal with age? Do you think age is just a number, or for you it's something that bothers you?
No, you know what? Age for me is just a number. I mean, at least when I look at my own experience, you have, like, I'm going back to study now. I'm doing all this fitness now, and I'm coordinating everything that I'm doing with work. And while you might say, or I have even some of my friends would say, oh, you're starting law school now. By the time you graduate, you're going to be, 39. And I'm fine with that. I'm saying it's fine. I want to look back and look at the things I accomplished, not when I accomplished them, right? So, every age will come to everyone. That's one thing that we know for a fact. The longer you live, the older you get. And it really doesn't bother me that way. I feel like I just want to look back and be happy with who I am and the way I am in my life. That's all I can ask for.
I think age is just in your head, you know what I mean? Just in our head. It's so about what we think. It's just about how do you see yourself. I think, as you said, I totally agree. I think just numbers, you know what I mean? The numbers will come, but here it will never change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all here.
Absolutely. Next one, let's do it. Okay, Vinny, next question for you is, what is your idea of a perfect friendship?
one, that we can be there to support each other without having to expect so much, to be so attached. Meaning, most of my best friends are those that I can reach out to them and we're gonna have a conversation as if we're like so excited to see each other, happy to see each other, excited to hear from each other, but without the, oh my God, you haven't called me. Oh my God, it has been so long that, you don't reach out. That is not, we are not always just like telling each other what hasn't happened as much as we're telling each other, oh my God, this happened and it was this cool. How are you doing? And let me hear from you, and hope that they want to hear from me as well. Just have that reciprocity and the freedom that comes with knowing that we are friends, knowing that we are there for each other, and sort of just really, really cheering each other and lifting each other up. I think that's the best for me, when you have that person there to support you no matter what happens, and at the same time you're both free to sort of live your life, and even when you're not in touch, by the time you get in touch again, you just sort of celebrate to have each other presence.
Saying that your best friends, most of them, they live in Miami?
No, one of my best friends actually lives in Toronto. He happens to be Brazilian, so I guess we have that in common, but he lives in Toronto. So we speak, every few months, and every time we do it, it's amazing. We always have so much stories to tell each other. Of course, I have plenty of good friends here in Miami as well. Some of them I work out and I see every day. So I just have that, that changing pace for everything. But I would say, my best friend, he is definitely not here.
I believe the Brazilian community in Miami, it's a quite big, isn't it, in your opinion? Do you think?
Yes, it's very large. We are everywhere.
Literally.
You're from Brazil, you're everywhere. Yeah.
Very good. Next question. Before the next one, as you mentioned that you have a partner, yeah? Yes. What's the most beautiful lesson you've learned from him so far?
The most beautiful lesson that I've learned from him. Communication is everything. I mean, you have to be free. And I think I really didn't have that. I mean, it's not the way I was raised. My family, we loved each other, but it was not something that we needed to talk to each other about. And just one of the things I learned from him the most is just like the beauty of being able to talk to each other, just tell each other everything and deal with it afterwards. But you feeling free that you can say something, right? Sometimes you don't feel that way. Sometimes you don't feel like they're depending on the circles you are. And I certainly didn't feel that way growing up. And I just, the comfort that comes with you feeling like you can say whatever you can say, and that's not going to change who you are, not going to change the way people perceive you, is just really freeing and just really beautiful.
What's the biggest difference between both of you, and what's the biggest similarity? I make friends where I can talk to anyone, meaning I am extremely social and I make friends fairly easily, and he's just the complete opposite way, right? So sometimes like my friends would joke that if you just leave me alone, I'll probably come back and I'll be friends with the trees and the animals around if there isn't one there, where my partner is just not that way at all. So it's just, it's just funny how different we are when it comes to that. And similarities, I would say we are both very business driven, very much hard workers, very much know where we want to go, know what we want to accomplish, and not afraid to go there. And I think that's sort of like also helps sort of, push each other to accomplish more and to try better things, and to go the extra mile. Right. Talking about childhoods, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
My favorite thing to do as a kid was building Legos. I loved it. I loved puzzles and just being challenged with the puzzles. And Legos were definitely my favorite thing to do as a child. I would not go to the beach to build a Lego. And that beach was a second, to building Legos for sure. But if I had a Lego around, I wouldn't even leave my bedroom.
Very good. Next question. Okay, Vinny, next question is, if you could spend an entire day with a family member, who that would be and why?
Dead or alive, anyone?
Anyone?
Oh, I would just spend the day with my mom. My mom is still alive, but I just really enjoy spending time with my mom. I can just spend the whole day with her. We might argue several times that day, but it would just be good. It would be a fun thing, and I don't spend so much time with her, so I'm always looking forward to do it.
How often do you talk to her?
I talk to her every other day. My mom is very needy, so she calls me. She texts me every day, or she calls me every other day, but we do speak very often. But I only get to see her once or twice a year. So for me, it's always a good time when I get to see her.
Very good. Ready for another one?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Vinny, before the next question, as you've been living abroad for quite a while now, in your opinion, what's the misconception that the American people has from Brazil or Brazilian people, and what's something that they get right?
The biggest misconception I get by Americans, at least when they come to Brazil, it's really culture oriented, right? People most times don't expect us to, and this is gonna sound terrible, people most of the times don't expect us to know as much about the US or global events as we usually do, right? It's just the way we are raised, most of the way we're educated in Brazil. So people are mostly surprised when they're like, oh, do you do that there? Or is something that you learn in Brazil? And we're like, yes, that's something we all learn. But one thing they get right, I cannot deny, people know how Brazilians like to party. They love a good time, and they'll find any excuse to do it. So every time people say that, in the beginning, I was like, it's not like that. And now I'm looking back, no, it's very much like that. We will have a good time in the rain, in the snow, in the sun, whatever we are. If there is a group of Brazilians, we will be having a good time. That's the way it's going to go down. So that's definitely a conception, not a misconception. People are absolutely right when they say that. We know how to have a good time.
When you take your partner to Brazil, what he likes the most about Brazil?
He really enjoys how warm people are. Like, people are very social. He doesn't have to make much of an effort. Everybody try talking to him. Everybody's just very caring and very kind. Whether they are related to me or not, he just finds people to be just genuine and very nice and very caring there.
See. Next question for you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I hope to be a fit lawyer, making money, working for my company, and traveling a lot. That's what I'm trying to do. Not studying anymore. Hopefully not studying anymore. Hopefully studying will be done.
Let's wait to see. Let's wait it. Next question. Next question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
The most beautiful thing? Well, to me, this is gonna sound really deep and heavy. To me, the most beautiful thing somebody has ever said to me was my mother apologizing for not accepting me any earlier. Because I know how much effort it took for her to say that, but also it really took all those years of me questioning myself and like to sort of, put them to rest, thinking that she was really questioning that. She always said that she never questioned. So when she apologized to me, my mom is not a big apology person. So it was just really, really special to me. And to me, it was the most beautiful thing that she has done or could have done at that time. Yeah, It was really special to me.
That's nice, Vinny. When you look back through that event, that's when they find out that you're gay, if you had the power to erase that event of your life, would you change it or would you keep the way it happened?
No. I will keep it just the way it happened. Yeah. It's hard because we were different people back then, right? I was a different person. My mother was a different person. My whole family, right? I think we are always evolving and growing as people in general, whether it's you or me or anybody else. At least that's what I believe. And that person could have only acted that way based on the information that was available to that person at that time. So I don't think things could have happened any differently. And to be quite honest, part of the reason I am the person I am today is because those things have happened to me. So, as tough as they were growth moments for me, and I really don't want to change them. I'm happy that we were able to go through them, learn from them, and work through them after. And I feel like part of the path and the growth was to be able to look back at them and say, I was wrong, or I was right, or I could have done this differently. And that's how I'm handling it right now.
Good one. Right, I have 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Right, let's pretend I'm coming to Miami for the very first time.
Let's go.
Tell me, what's the main place to visit? What is a must to see and to experience in Miami?
Well, you must try the beaches, of course. I mean, Miami is very well known for its beaches. If you're going out, we would have to see, depending on the time of year, we have so many events going on in Miami. You can come here for, there might be art events, beach events, boat shows. I mean, it's a city that is something that is always happening and is always outdoors. There's always a lot to do. So we'll figure out whichever events are the best based on season. But you're gonna have to go through Vizcaya to see the gardens. You're gonna have to go to the beaches. Maybe we should get a boat and just boat around so you can get to see everything, because the water is absolutely breathtaking. Maybe a helicopter ride. I mean, we'll figure it out when you're here. You tell me when you're coming, and we'll figure this out.
Oh, deal. Right, next question for you is, in your opinion, what do you think is a good age to start dating and why?
Just start dating, whichever age you're in and whichever age you feel ready. I mean, within reason. But, I feel like if you're ready and you're getting to know anybody and you're talking to them, that's the age that is right for you, right? I think you're the only person or whichever individual, you're the only person that know when you're ready, when you're not ready to start something. But when it comes to dating, it's just, you have to be the one feeling ready for that.
Totally agree as well. Saying that, Vinny, I know you are in a relationship, but in your opinion, how is the dating life in the gay scene in Miami? Do you think guys, it's easy to find partners? It's easy to have a relationship? Or in your opinion, like big cities like London, New York, it's always tricky for the gay community because, as you know, we have a lot of opportunities out there regarding, be with anybody or, the easy way of meeting people. What do you think, in your opinion?
Oh, there is plenty of ways to meet people here. Again, I think it's people get into relationships for one reason, right? It's because they want to be together. So I think sometimes, whether it's a big or a small city, like big cities, the challenge might be because there is just so many people. Cities like Miami, like London, like New York, you have people traveling and new people arriving day in and leaving every day. So you get to know a lot of people. So sometimes you just get people might be caught in the, meeting a new person, meaning the next best thing. But at the end of the day, I feel like, is it hard to date? Not really. I guess that the challenge is this something that you really want? And are you shopping in the right places? Are you getting to meet people the right way? Are you really investing in a way that you're building deep connections, right, with those individuals, versus just keeping everything sort of on the light and easy?
I see. 2 questions left for you. Let's do it. Before the next one, as you know, you are so into the fitness world. In your opinion, with the COVID crisis, what's the biggest positive impact that brought to the fitness world, in your opinion, and what's the biggest negative impact that brought at the same time?
So I feel like, especially during the beginning, during COVID, when gyms were closed, I feel like people really had to think back on what fitness looks like for them. Um, a lot of the times we always thought of fitness as you're going somewhere to exercise. Very few times people thought of opportunities to exercise at home or view other activities as exercises, whether you're like running outside, walking in the park, taking a bike ride, kayaking, whichever activities were. And I feel like the COVID pandemic really did bring this, or just open people's eyes to all these possibilities and things you can do. I mean, right now, how many people still work out from home and they have apps and have Pelotons and have whatever. And you just really, before it was very challenging for people to see that as a reality for fitness. Most of the times you hear, oh, that's very nice, but I couldn't do that. And now people are like, no, I can do that. I've done it during the pandemic. As far as a negative impact, at least in my experience with CrossFit, or maybe that's my experience in Miami, since, the governments around here were not as careful as COVID as some of the rest of the country. So I don't think we felt much of the bad impacts, but, we did have most of the bad impacts were just businesses that really could not survive the COVID pandemic. So you have a lot of businesses that ended up closing and a lot of people that just really did not know how to go about it. And they just really didn't have a community to support them. And I think COVID really sort of took that away from people, just that community aspect.
Next question for you is, what do you like the most about yourself?
About myself, that's, I would say my drive to go after the things that are important to me. I like to think I'm the kind of person that if something's important to me, I'll go after it, whether it's my school, whether it's my fitness, whether it's opportunities to see my family. I feel like I will prioritize and do what I need to do to be able to accomplish them. And I don't see that in a lot of other people sometimes. And most of the times when people meet me, they usually say, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing all of those things. And I just, I feel like I do it because they're important to me. And I feel like when you find something that is important to you, you'd be willing to do just the same. So my willingness to go and put in the work is definitely one of the things I like to think I like the most about me.
Saying that, if you could change something about yourself or in yourself, what that would be?
If I could change one thing, I would just be a little more carefree with certain things. I feel like I tend to overthink a lot of things sometimes. It takes me a while sometimes to even realize that that's what I'm doing. So if I could just overthink them a little less, just be in peace with the fact that some things just are the way they are and I'll be able to move on from them, it will be much easier. I would love to change that. If you find out how to do it, you must let me know.
And if you find out first, let me know, please, because I'm the same boat as you.
I will, I promise. If I figure that one out, I will write all kinds of psychology books on how to do this, because I've been trying for a long time.
Ready for the last one?
Yes, I'm ready.
Last question, let's do it. Okay, Vinny, but before the last question, people watching the interview, would you like to join you for a CrossFit fit session? What would you bring different compared with other people, or what they're gonna see or how they're gonna feel if they join you on a session like that?
If you guys are joining me, be ready to be very sweaty. Be ready to take your shirts off. This is Miami. It's gonna be super warm. Most CrossFit gyms have no air conditioning, but we are going to find ways to exercise and have a good time exercising in a way that everybody's gonna be able to enjoy it. And you're gonna leave thinking that it's probably one of the toughest things you have ever done it, and you're still gonna feel so accomplished because you did it.
Amazing. Last question for you is, What is your biggest idol and what have you learned with this person?
My biggest idol, again, personally, my biggest idol, again, I'm not sure how many people have said that, but again, my mom has really been my idol from a long time. You know, she, with my dad, I mean, they raised the three of us. She really changed. My mom used to be like a nurse practitioner when we were younger. She changed her whole life when my brother was born, to really take care of him and to find ways to be supportive of all of us. By the time I came to the United States and she was already much older, she went back to school and then she went to college all over again. And now she's starting her entire career. She started her entire new career at age 50, working in education of people with disability. And now she's just keep on growing in Brazil and within the school system. And I feel like her drive really pushes me to do better, because my mom had strokes before and she is a cancer survivor, and nothing really had stopped her through and through on everything. She always finds the energy to go and move forward. She does not look for my approval or anybody else's approval. Her own approval and her own sense of, you know, personal accomplishment is what makes her move forward. And I aspire to be like that. I aspire to be a person that I am doing things because that's important to me, and that's because of my personal accomplishment. That's how I want to do it. And that's one of the biggest things. Every time I look at her, I'm like, I want to grow up to be just like you, and I will be just like you.
Oh, what's her name?
Nalia.
Oh, hello, Nalia. Your son is very, very proud of you. My God. Sweet. Very sweet. Okay, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Big thinking, okay?
All right, try my best.
Money. So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like. Don't forget to share this video. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Money.
Work.
Family.
Mom.
One word for love.
Friends.
Life.
Waking up.
Sex.
The more.
Politics.
I've had it.
Religion.
Which, any.
Fear.
Courage.
Friendship.
Essential.
Desire.
We all have it.
Regrets.
None.
Success.
Everything.
One word for wish.
For wish?
Yep.
Success.
One word for happiness.
Accomplishment.
One word for Brazil.
Home.
One word for New York City.
Learning.
How about Miami? One word for Miami.
Hot.
And the last one now, CrossFitter. One word.
Life.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, what is the most beautiful thing about Vinny, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What he would say?
I would definitely think he would say how I go after the things that are important to me. I think he'll agree with me on that. As far as the things I need to improve on, he'll probably say I am too hard on myself. I should be less on that. That's what I think he would say.
you see some work in progress regarding that?
No. It's always been, I always will, you know.
Let's play now Vinny and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, Vinny, you can ask me a question now.
So you told me you were in London, right?
Yes.
What took you to London?
Right. So as a child, back in Brazil, I always had the fascination about English language. I started studying English when I was 12 years old, and I fell in love. And I always had a dream to live in a country where I could speak English every single day. As you know, Brazilian people, we have this fascination about American dream, you know, to go to New York, to Miami. And of course, I had that as well at the time. But back then, my parents, they couldn't help me to get a visa. I went to Portugal when I was 19 years old, and I didn't think twice. You know, I said, okay, let's go. I'll be in Portugal, and from there I can go to Ireland, I can go to England. And here I am living in London for the last 17 years, and I'm meant to be here. It's so funny how life takes you in a direction that you're not expecting, isn't it? It's amazing, and I'm so glad that you know, I lived in Portugal as well. I had the experience of living in Portugal, where I could see, you know, our backgrounds, our language, you know, where it comes from and everything. So I'm very grateful for that as well. But I meant to be in London. I think London, it's a place where you know, I meant to be here. It's amazing how I feel home here. It's a good place to be. So yeah, the main reason was about the language, and second as well, it's about going after my dreams, you know, try a better life. And yeah, so that's the main thing about my journey here in Europe, in London.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Vinny, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
Yes, I did. Did you?
Thanks so much. Yes, amazing. Thank you so much for bringing your energy. I know this Brazilian, as you said before, the Brazilian energy, it's just, you know what I mean? It's everywhere. As soon as you start talking to a Brazilian person, it's impossible not to be smiling. It's impossible not to be jumping. It's impossible not to be singing. There's a lot of going on. I think it's great to see another Brazilian person living in another country as well, exploring life and, you know, living the best you can. Thank you so much for being kind and sweet. But
thank you.
But before you go, let's pretend now, let's say you have the whole attention of the whole world right now. The whole world is watching you right now. And you could say a message or something to people watching now. What would you say?
Just be kind to your friends. Just really listen with purpose, and just be present. I think that's the biggest thing. Just be present. A lot of the times we let things pass us by and we remember them, but most of the time we are not present, enjoying them as they are happening. Maybe just focus a little more on being present at those small moments when they happen, because that's what really counts at the end.
Absolutely. I think being kind, it's so easy to be kind, isn't it? It doesn't take much of you to be kind.
Effort.
Absolutely. And in the end of the day, when you are kind to people, you are just helping out yourself. You're just giving yourself, you know what I mean, a great moment that can go different places, different ways of reaching out to you. So yeah, let's be kind. I think it's a good way to approach life. Vinny, muito obrigado. Thanks so much for the interview.
Muito obrigado.
Keep in touch, okay? Regards to your family and to your partner, okay?
All right.
Fique contado, tá? Tchau, tchau.
Ciao, ciao.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.